So today I want to talk about souvenir packages because so many people are talking about souvenir packages and the items inside them right now and what exactly to do with them. There are a couple of souvenir packages specifically, that being Overpass and Dust 2, that are all kind of the talk of the CS markets right now. They're some of the most interesting items. They're having some of the most interesting movements, and I think we'll continue to have some of the most interesting movements really up until probably like the Shanghai Major, until we start to get a lot more clarity surrounding this situation going forward. So that's what I want to talk about today, and hopefully give you guys some of my thoughts and opinions, and hopefully get some of your thoughts and opinions as well. But of course, first, before we get into that, I just want to mention real quick, if you are looking to turn any of your CS2 items into cold hard cash or crypto or any other payment method that you're looking for, definitely hit me up over on Twitter. It's going to be the first link in the description below. I can help you get a quick, easy, safe, efficient, whatever cash out into those payment methods. We're buying almost anything and everything. Now the peer-to-peer trading websites are starting to come back. I'm ramping up my cash trading once again after taking a brief little pause, hiatus, whatever you want to call it. So hit me up when we can definitely get a deal done. Of course, by selling to me, you're helping support me, my channel, and my content, which I would appreciate a ton. With that being said, let's get right into this. So I wanted to start with this little write-up by Ross CSGO, where he starts talking a little bit about the Dust 2 souvenir packages. Now, this is before the update that we just got a couple days ago, so obviously many things have changed, but a lot of this information is still good. It's maybe not as relevant anymore, but it's at least some good background information on souvenir packages overall. So he said, today I'd like to talk about another more controversial item, which I have talked about many times before, and I believe to be an item with lots of investment potential, even though it's been going down for the past couple months, and that is Dust 2 souvenir packages. In 2021, Dust 2 received a brand new souvenir collection alongside Mirage, Ancient, and Vertigo. These four collections introduced shiny new covert souvenirs, which hadn't been seen since Cobblestone. Unboxing a covert is extremely hard, with odds of 1 in 4,000. Now, obviously here, that is stuff like the Gold Arabesque, that's the Desert Hydra, that's Imminent Danger, and that's Welcome to the Jungle for those 4 different maps. While Mirage, Ancient, and Vertigo are still being dropped every single major, Dust 2 was removed from the competitive map pool after Rio 2022. This means that there's been 3 majors since we had any new supply of Dust 2 souvenir packages. Dust 2 contains the AK-47 Gold Arabesque, which received a beautiful shiny upgrade in CS2. Currently, out of all 4 collections mentioned above, the Gold Arabesque is the most expensive one. Obviously, the Gold Arabesque is going to be the most expensive one. Not only is it very rare, not only did like he said, it got a nice little boost in CS2, but also since the that package is not dropping from majors anymore, it's going to have lower supplies and stuff, so it should have a higher price than some of those other items. That makes a lot of sense to me. He says, I feel like this skin, being an expensive golden AK, will always be an incentive for people to keep opening this package. So why is this controversial take? Dust 2 can either become a great or terrible investment. Everything depends on whether or not Valve plans to reintroduce it in the near future. Currently, it doesn't look like any map changes will be made before Shanghai. Now, that's obviously really funny, and I don't really know why he said that, because we're still so far away from Shanghai, even when he wrote this on April 25th, that I think a lot of people expected there to be map changes. So I am a little bit confused why he said this, because again, I didn't know obviously if Dust 2 was going to get added back or whatever. There was options of Dust 2, Tuscan, Train, a million different options for maps that could get added back, but it did seem like something was going to get added back. It seemed like the map pool was going to get shaken up, whether Overpass or Mirage or Vertigo or whatever was going to get removed. But he thought there was not going to be any map changes, which I don't know, probably put a lot more risk in these Dust 2 souvenir packages than he was really giving it credit for. This means that we might not see Dust 2 packages return anytime in the upcoming years. Again, kind of an overstatement to me. However, if Dust 2 does return, expect all the packages to massively crash in price. Up to you to decide how realistic this scenario can be. Personally, I consider it a risk worth taking. Disclaimer, I currently own more than 1,000 of these packages. Yikes. To my own surprise, they currently have been going down most of the year, and I'm actually in the red currently. Definitely an investment that carries more risk, but it can also yield great returns if we don't see Dust 2 return in the next couple of majors. Now, of course, Dust 2 then did return. It is now back in the active duty map pool. And since then, this is what like the Dust 2 Stockholm souvenir package has done. It has gone from $7.34 down to $5.51. It's down 26%. Now that isn't catastrophic. That isn't absolutely cratering. This thing hasn't been so wiped out just yet. Now obviously losing 26% in a couple of days isn't good, but it did crash down more and it rebounded a little. And the reason why it hasn't crashed down more just yet, and the reason why it's maybe holding up even a little bit, obviously this is very, very bad news, is because even though Dust 2 is back in the active duty map pool, even though Dust 2 is going to be back at the Shanghai Major, that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to get 2021 Dust 2 Shanghai souvenir packages. Now, obviously, CS2 has not gotten a ton of new content or skins or anything like that just yet, so we could potentially see a 2024 Dust 2 souvenir collection coming to the Shanghai Major. And if that does happen, obviously these Dust 2 souvenir packages, the 2021 collection, will be unaffected and could actually see a rebound in price. So there is some case to be made for potentially buying the dip on these 2021 Dust 2 souvenir packages right now. Now, obviously, it is extremely, extremely risky. It is a gamble. Nobody knows if we're going to get a new Dust 2 souvenir collection or not. But if we do get a new Dust 2 souvenir collection for the Shanghai Major, I would not be shocked because, like I said, there is so many skins in the workshop and so much new content that should and could and will and needs to be added to CS2. And obviously, a new souvenir collection could be a good and easy way to do that, and it could also get people very, very excited, and it would see a ton of sales and a ton of interest and really get people excited, much more excited than I think they would be about the 2021 Dust 2 souvenir package returning. I know there's a lot of other people that are saying also this one is called the 2021 Dust 2 souvenir collection. How are we going to get a return of the 2021 Dust 2 souvenir collection in 2024? That wouldn't necessarily make a ton of sense naming wise, but obviously Valve can do whatever they want. So, yeah, if you had a bunch of Dust 2 souvenir packages, should you be selling out of them? You could, because obviously things have changed. There is a lot more risk holding them than there was previously. Yes, there was always the possibility of Dust 2 getting added back to the active duty map pool, but now that it's there, obviously there's much more risk. And honestly, they haven't crashed down too much just yet. If you have the potential to sell out of these still at a profit or at a break even or whatever, you might want to consider doing that. I don't know. It is definitely interesting. Obviously, the other question is what to do with the Overpass souvenir collections, because you can see, like, from Paris, the Overpass souvenir collections are now up 32% in the past couple of days. And again, I would probably be leaning towards selling these, especially if you can get a nice little profit on them. I don't know what some of the older Overpass stuff is doing. We can take a look at something like the Stockholm Overpass souvenir collection, only up like 3%. And another reason for this is because you can still get right now, yes, even though Overpass is out of the active duty map pool, you can still get Overpass souvenir collections from Copenhagen. So maybe once the Copenhagen souvenir packages are unable to be obtained, then we'll finally see a cap on the Overpass stuff, and then maybe they become a better investment or whatever. But like a lot of people have said, there's a ton of Overpass stuff out there. Brongo, this guy says, don't invest in the Overpass collection now, wait for the prices to settle. There are 18 different types of souvenirs for the map, and you can still get them in infinite quantities while Copenhagen is on sale. And again, in this picture, he shows us that there is so much Overpass out there. There is Rio, Antwerp, Stockholm, Berlin, Katowice 19, London, Boston, Krakow, Atlanta, Cologne, Columbus, DreamHack, ESL1 Cologne, ESL1 Katowice, DreamHack 14, Cologne 14, Paris, Copenhagen, and especially these last couple majors, Copenhagen, which is still on sale right now if people want to load up on Overpass for cheap, or Paris, which we all know had just a ton of supply and ton of overinvestment into all these items, makes Overpass collection maybe not so attractive as it was. Now, these items inside are also obviously seeing an effect. We have the AK-47 Gold Arabesque, which, again, people don't really know what's going to go on with it, and we've seen a drop-off. This thing was, close to $4,000, $3,900 before this news and announcement. It has dropped about $500 in price as the factory new Gold Arabesque on Buff 163 has dropped about $500 in price, which, again, is a big drop-off, but it's not catastrophic. It's not like this thing is absolutely tanking. It's not like it's fucked. Now, it could drop further. I don't know what's going to happen, but again, it's also going to depend if the Gold Arabesque is actually returning back into these packages or not. We'll have to wait and see. But this was also very, very unfortunate for me because I just bought an Arabesque a couple days ago. So I was trying to buy something on Buff 163 to sell for a little bit higher price on float to be able to get balance and cash and stuff. And now losing $400 or $500 from that is obviously going to be pretty shitty. So that does suck. I hope these prices flatten out or rebound or whatever. But again, we probably won't see these prices rebounding until we actually know what's going on with that Dust 2 collection. Again, here's the Souvenir Gold Arabesque as well, which went from about 68 down to like 5,700. And then, of course, we have the M4A1S Masterpiece, which is out of that Overpass collection. We can see here the Overpass collection with the Masterpiece, the pink DD pad, the Road Rash, some other different stuff here. And then we have, of course, the 2021 Dust 2 collection with the gold Overpass, the UMP 45 Fade, the Mag 10 case Harden's kind of interesting, M4A4 Red DD Pat, Orange Anoles I think it's actually kind of cool too, Galil, Amber Fade, whatever. That's some of the different options, some of the different skins that are going to be affected by this. And obviously you have the filler skins and the trade up skins and stuff that are going to be affected as well, which you should definitely keep an eye on. Overpass filler skins now potentially get a lot more attractive. We can actually look at those real quick too. Some of these down at the bottom, stuff like the UMP 45 Scorched, Mag 7 Storm, these MP9 Storm, these could potentially be some good investments or see some good gains if the Overpass stuff isn't going to be dropping. But again, Overpass stuff does have some very, very big quantities, and right now it is still dropping into Copenhagen. But once the Copenhagen stuff ends, I could see filler skins from Overpass probably being one of the best kind of come-ups from this whole thing. But we have seen the Masterpiece, the factory new Masterpiece, almost double in price, or more than double in price. I don't know, pretty close to doubling in price, going from 373 up to 658. It had some bigger spikes, but it's kind of come back down again. Does it deserve to be doubling in price? I don't necessarily know, because again, you can still get so much of the stuff, and there is so much of the stuff out there. Yes, should it increase in price? Yeah, absolutely. Should it be doubling in price overnight? I don't know. That seems like a little bit of an overreaction to me. I would probably be closer to selling my Masterpieces right now than buying Masterpieces at these prices. And then same thing with the Souvenir M4A1S Masterpiece, going from 910 up to 1173. Much less of a huge run up there. Always Miss, he had this to say. He said, when I thought 30 RMB is maximum, I'm wrong. There goes the supply of all tradable Overpass souvenir packages on buff. So that was another thing, that yes, you can still get Overpass souvenir packages kind of infinitely with the Copenhagen stuff right now, but obviously when you get those, they're not marketable for like 7 days or 8 days or whatever. So people were buying up all the souvenir packages that were available because yes, even though people were buying more of them, they're still not marketable for a while. So the prices for these things just got absolutely ridiculous. Here people were selling them for $72 on Buff 163. It was a couple days ago. I'm sure it's changed a little bit since then. And then again, people are asking this: do you think Dust 2 will have a new set of skins or with a new package, or will Valve reintroduce the same souvenir packages? I don't know if I should be buying or selling right now. That's a question. Nobody really knows. And then of course Nalo chiming in and saying this as well, which is some of the stuff I've already talked about. This should be temporary, simply off the basis we've literally had an influx of Overpass stuff for an eternity. So that's pretty much everything you need to know about what's going on with all the different souvenir packages and stuff right now. Again, I don't know if there's really anything to be done with it right now. We're in a weird limbo state. Obviously, if you owned Overpass stuff, or if you had a Masterpiece or whatever, you've made some great profit. Congrats. But does that mean you should be buying Masterpiece stuff right now? I don't know. If you own Dust 2 stuff, hey, you kind of got fucked. But does that mean you should be selling? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It's kind of a weird, interesting point. But again, I do think one of the biggest winners from this whole thing is probably going to be filler skins from Overpass. And also, if we do end up getting a new Dust 2 collection, some of the Dust 2 stuff and stuff like the gold Overpass will probably bounce back and be okay in the long run still. But pretty much it was this video today, guys. Hopefully catch you in the next one. Until then, peace.